Incompetence Pod.
Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Join us as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We'll have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm Melodious Warbler Mike Picasso Collins, the Satisfinder, a.k.a. Lil Seeky Boy.
Hello, I'm the Dashing Brogue, Dan Collins, the Wheat Treater.
And I'm Travis Brabin, the Planet Pusher, Postal Pile Driver, and bearer of the Incompetent Cup of Iridescent Splendor. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
I will take this challenge. This is one that I kind of think we've been thinking about since the beginning, and I really don't want to do, but the weather's nice. It was like 75 degrees today, so I think we should challenge ourselves to go for a run every day.
Ooh, every day.
Every day.
You say we've been thinking about that since the beginning. That hadn't even crossed my mind.
I will tell you, there's nothing in this world that I hate more than running. And it's the worst. It's the worst thing, but it's good for you.
But I mean, like, paradoxically, like, I'm on board with this because it is a really good thing to do. People always say that, like, oh, if you do it enough, like, if you get into a rhythm, then you'll find you enjoy it. Or, like, you get to a point where you actually like doing it. And, like, I've run semi-consistently at different times in my life, and I never got to a point where I could say that I enjoyed any part of it.
Well, I think of, like, boot camp in Marine Corps. Like, all we did was run the whole time, just running all over the place. And like, by the end, I remember, like, the recruiter saying, like, yeah, you'd be in such good shape, you can run for like 10 miles and you won't bat an eyelash. And that was quite intimidating to me. And we probably definitely did run about that much. And I hated every second of it, every minute of it, every footfall was agony. My body just was rebelling against me the entire time.
What's the metric on that? Just miles ran?
Maybe it should just be total miles ran.
I like that. Oh, maybe not total miles, but like distance.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yes.
Well, I know, but like a mile is a large increment. We may want to
yeah.
break it down smaller.
Sure.
I like that. I mean, I don't like it, and I don't want to do it, but it's probably good, and I'm willing to give it a shot. All right, I will go next. We are all very busy, and we have a lot of things on our plate, and I often feel like I don't have time to do things that I want to do. So I am curious about finding ways to create/find the time to do the things that I need to work on. I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think for me, I often lose time in between things where I don't know what I should do next, or what, I spend time not doing things when I could be doing things. So I think for the next 2 weeks, we should rigidly plan out our days, to like down to like the 15-minute mark, to like plan out time to work on all of the things that we want to, time to practice musical instruments, time to work on the game, time to work on, I guess, work, time to spend with friends and family. And then also, this one is kind of a combo challenge in that if we do this, we could plan out when to go to bed and how much sleep to get.
This reminds me of a story I heard about one of the first space missions with NASA. I think it was NASA. Might have been the Russians. But they did something similar. Like for the week or so that they're in space, they had every like minute of their day planned, and the astronauts basically at one point they had a mutiny, and they told NASA, it's like, we're not doing anything, we need a break. like they said, like, so then they had to schedule in like several hours of downtime as like part of it. It's kind of before anybody knew, like, turns out like psychologically people can't handle being focused 24 hours a day or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I mean, I'm not saying that's what we would do, but that is a thing to take into account.
Probably
I
also
mean-
the added stress of being in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, crucially, we can build in our own breaks, and I think the things that we would choose to be working on would be, considered sort of breaks. I
Yeah.
mean, like actually, like dedicating and focusing time on, working on the hobbies that we have, and also, I hope, if we were to do this, you, without having to think about what you should be doing right now or what you could be doing right now, you would have it defined for you in advance, and you could like wholly commit yourself to that thing. So the example in my head is spending time with family. If you have like, well, I've got an hour and a half now, I'm going to hang out with the kids, or do something fun. If you just know that that's what you're doing, you can fully commit to that. You're not like distracted or thinking about doing something else or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
that is true.
that's my challenge.
I like that, actually. We kind of did that a little bit before in the organization one. I think most of us came up with a schedule. My schedule has been blasted to the winds after starting a new job, so it would be beneficial as well. Something I need to do.
All right, Dan, what do you got?
We talk a lot about how to improve our minds and our skill set and that type of thing, but how about just how handsome we are?
That might be a lost cause.
Like, I feel like I don't really have a specific idea in mind, but I think that's part of the challenge. We should try to become the most handsome / attractive, and whatever that means, style, haircut, something, facial hair, whatever we can do to become hot.
All right. I feel like I'm already pretty on point.
All right.
Well, okay,
Crucially,
I was
who
gonna
would
say,
be the decider on that
yeah.
one?
we could have a third party involved.
That can't
It
be
has to be
somebody that we
somebody-
know.
Yeah, I was
right?
gonna say
Because-
like somebody that we don't know, or like somebody that we know, but it can be kind of a jerk,
Yeah, well, I mean, we can figure that out.
that's a really hard one to find an impartial judge that's willing to come on a podcast and rate the appearance of 3 people to their face.
I'm willing to do this if the judges are my mom, my grandma, and my wife.
Or this is I don't know that this exists, but I bet you it does. There's probably like an AI like beauty ranking thing where you can like turn your webcam on and it'll tell you how attractive you are, probably based on facial symmetry.
No, you know what would be the best is get a child who doesn't really know us, because kids don't care.
Yeah, they
Let's
don't care.
just get someone else's child,
Get
have them
some
come on a
find-
podcast with us.
Or they, I don't know, but like kids are the most honest of
That's
any
true.
people, because they don't realize that they're hurting your feelings.
That's true. I don't know, Dan. I mean, I don't know, man.
Let's get hot, guys.
2/3 of this podcast sort of don't have. I mean, like, we're already married. We don't.
Are you saying that your wives don't want you to be attractive?
I mean, I keep there's a bare minimum that I like to hover around.
Right.
It's kind of toe the line, as they say. Like,
Yeah,
I paid today. Is this doing anything for you?
Oh yeah, I don't know about that one, Dan. It probably is like valuable.
Well,
I mean,
it's straight up self-improvement. You're improving your looks.
I mean, honestly, I do see a benefit because, like, something that I have said in the past, and I probably heard from somebody, was that the world judges you on the way that you present yourself. I think that was a
Yeah,
Marine Corps thing
it
because
very much
they,
is.
yeah, because they, when you are in the military, well, at least the Marine Corps anyway, they are very strict about how you look, even in your civilian clothes, or like when you're not marining,
Hmm.
and like so you gotta be kind of on point, even though you're, um, you know, nobody's really judging you because there might be somebody that you run into. But I think it's very true. If you're kind of a schlub and then people are gonna be like, "Oh, look at this guy." But if you dress good enough and you make yourself like presentable enough, people aren't gonna they're gonna treat you better. Basically, that's
Yeah,
how it
well,
works.
that's
You know.
that's how the I mean, unfortunately, that's how the world works, like, people who are attractive are treated better and are generally, considered more for positive things than somebody who is, less attractive, and that's if you disagree with that, you're wrong.
I mean, it's been
If you
scientifically
if you
proven.
disagree with that, you're probably ugly.
That one does have some science backing, and it people who are more, I think they even said like more symmetrical facial features are considered more trustworthy and more dependable for no good reason.
For no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the thing that you were saying, Mike, is like there's a phrase that is said a lot in the Marine Corps, and that's appearance is reality.
Yeah.
So if you look sloppy or unkempt, then you are irresponsible and you are incapable of taking care of your own appearance. Why am I going to, put my trust in you? Or it's very much that thing where if you look sloppy, you are sloppy.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, generally speaking, I think that's kind of true, you know. And unfortunately, that's the way the world works, you guys. Got to keep it together a little bit.
Yeah.
I
Having
don't know.
said that, though, I do have concerns about the manner in which this one would be judged. That one I think is a challenge that would have to be.
Well, we can just try to be really honest with each other. Well, we could change it to, like, who can do the most handsome, uh,
Photo shoot,
well, photo shoot.
Who can get the best what are those things called that
like
actors give out?
headshot.
Headshot.
Headshots? Yeah.
I kind of don't hate that idea.
I
So
I
I
no.
that would instantly become my like my what's it called, avatar across the board.
I guess the issue with that, though, is that that would be 2 visual things on a podcast in a row.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I think let's throw I mean, I would vote to put that one on the back burner.
Okay.
I don't really want to do it, but there is conceivably value there. So I would vote let's move into the deciding of the
Okay.
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So I kind of I do see the benefit of dance. Um, I I think we need to flesh out kind of what it is the goal is. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
just like who can be the most attractive, but like who can. I don't. Well, I guess that is kind of what it would be.
Yeah,
I don't feel like we're ready for that one yet.
not ready.
Attractive is not the right word there.
Yeah.
It should be like because there's like confidence and like grooming and like there's a number of things that go into it and just like attraction. Um, I don't know that that's the right word.
Well, if it like we were talking about, I'm sorry, we're continuing to talk about this because it's interesting. When you're talking about like how you present yourself, how people perceive you as being like put together, basically, you don't have to be like attractive, or like in style, but if you're like well groomed and put together and dressed well, then people are gonna. It doesn't even have to be like fashionable necessarily, as long as you look put together.
Mhm.
Well, but I mean, if you look put together, you are more attractive
Well,
generally.
that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we come back to this one, and when we do, there'll be a lot of like accounting for taste. we'd have to define pretty strictly what the criteria is and how we're going to judge it.
Yeah, I don't think we're ready for it, Dan. We're not ready
Well,
for it.
okay. Which one are we gonna do then?
So the options are run every day or run the most distance or plan out your days for the next 2 weeks.
My vote for mine is based around the fact that we've kind of done those organization ones before, including I've done one where I did my schedule already.
I think Mike's would be easier to do for me because I already walk my dog every day.
You just run your dog then.
I just run my
I
dog.
see. Like I think this one, the running one, is very doable, especially now that the weather's gotten nicer. If the weather turns in the middle of this challenge, it may make things difficult.
That creates an opportunity to excel under pressure.
That's true. Nothing like adversity to really weed out the winner.
What are the thoughts on treadmills?
I think that counts. That's fine.
Okay.
Treadmills are just as, if not more, miserable, I think.
I think I'm kind of okay with either of them.
Well, let's do Mike's. It sounds like that's what we want to do. I do think that there is room for an organizational challenge, particularly one with like our schedule, because we
Yeah.
did like a life organization thing. This is specifically a time organizational thing. Also your sleep schedule and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
and the last challenge, we literally were talking about how we didn't have any time.
Right.
Like
That's a common throughput for all of our conversations.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool if I had more time.
Yeah.
I just don't know if scheduling it is going to make more time appear, or at least not much.
Well, if only there's a way we could do a test and see if we could,
If only, yeah, shoot. If only there's a way we
like
could
if
try
we
that.
could try it out for 2 weeks or something like that,
Yeah.
and then see how
Yeah.
it pans out.
Well, I guess
But
we'll
we're
never know.
running though.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
We could do a physical one. Since the push-up one, we've done a couple, so we're due for a physical one, I think.
Okay. So that being said, is the metric going to be furthest distance or like most cumulative distance ran, or should it be like time ran? Because I am a very slow runner, and if you guys are faster than me, you're going to cover more ground than me, even if I run more than you.
That's a good point. I think time.
Maybe both. Maybe we need to track time and distance.
Sure, that we can do
I'm
miles
not
per
sure
hour
how I
speed.
would measure distance though. How do I measure
There's
distance?
apps on your phone where it will literally just track you if you take your phone with you.
Oh,
Or you can also go online and like once you're done, if you have a common route you take, you can use it's like a Google Maps thing that'll tell you the distance.
I also know that once I actually get out there for the first time and start skedaddling, that I am going to not go very far right off the gate because running is just the worst. I'll get around the block and be like,
You know, I took Cheesecake out one time recently, and I was like, you know what, let's just do a little jog. So I jogged like I don't know, I don't think it was a whole mile, but it just jogged for the walk, and then my shins hurt for like 5 days afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now.
It's a real danger.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's fair. Like, let's do distance and time. So just keep track of your time and then use whatever app to measure your distance, and then we'll compare notes.
So
I think we'll have a clear winner.
I'm a little wary of like more time invested being a primary way of winning because that's generally what we want to avoid.
I just think that it's worth taking into account.
Yeah, I think we can have the discussion afterwards because maybe we'll have a better idea of what is more valuable.
Yeah, honorific, the running man.
Yeah, sure.
Seems fine.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I kind of like actually the skedaddler is pretty good.
Skedaddler is pretty good too.
Skedaddler man.
Whoa, all right.
So there's marathon, there's sprinting, there's traveler,
The journeyman, the trail beater,
long strider.
Ooh,
Father of footfalls.
the man, the skedaddler is pretty good.
The scary skedaddler.
Pavement pounder.
Scootin' skedaddler.
I don't own any running shoes.
Sucks for you.
Run barefoot. I've heard it's actually better for you.
I step on glass or something. I don't trust my neighbors.
That sounds like a man trying to find excuses, Dan. The rootin' tootin' skedoodler. I'm losing track of the game here.
Trail.
Yeah, I still like long strider, pavement pounder, something that feels powerful.
The
Trot.
galloper.
Gallop. That's a fun one.
Gallop.
Trot. Jog.
The skedaddlin' galloper.
I'm not wild about skedaddle. I'll be honest.
All right, fine.
I mean, I could be persuaded, but
The vamoose mongoose.
Skedaddicus.
Yep.
yep, nailed it.
I mean, weirdly,
let's
I'm
see.
kind of stuck on Running Man. I don't know why, but we can do better than that.
I mean, I feel like we've maybe have gotten too big for our britches. Like maybe we just need to bring it back to what we're doing. Running Man, the man that ran.
The man that ran. The man ran. The Ran Man. Rain Man.
The something charger.
The bull. Charging bull.
The glorious gazelle.
Ooh, Gazelle is good. Gazelle Man.
The Gazelle Man.
I like Gazelle. Gazelle really brings to mind, that running, bounding.
What about
the
Cheetah?
Ooh, Cheetah Man.
Cheetah Man.
The Cheetah King. Lightning loafers. The Lightning Cheetah Man.
Just
I like-
words.
Just say it. You're just saying stuff.
How about
Yeah, gallop, hurry person.
Gallop, jog, pavement, go, speed boy.
Speed Boy? That's not bad. Gazelleman.
Wait, what
Bob
was the...
Gazelleman.
The problem with gazelle is that, like, things don't go with it very well. It's a lot by itself already. Like you can't say like this thing gazelle or gazelle. It just like it's a selfish word. It doesn't pair well.
Do we need anything else? What about just the gazelle?
Speedy speed boy.
We could do some sort of portmanteau with gazelle if there's something there, but by itself, I think it lacks something.
Running in the 90s.
Sweating to the 80s. Sweating to the oldies.
Speedy Gonzalez.
The fleet flyer.
Fleet.
Fleet means, I think, fast or light of foot.
Mm-hmm. Or it also means a lot of boats.
That's true. What about something strider? Like striding it out.
Stride.
The stalwart strider.
Stalwart. The groovy gazelle. The galloping gazelle. The gargantuan gazelle.
What about, like, I'm still okay with pavement pounder.
Yeah.
Too simple?
Yeah, it's too...
I mean, it's no gazelle man, but...
Can we talk about Gazelle Man for a minute? I feel like maybe we're just kind of brushing something off that could be something important.
I don't see it.
Gazelle Man.
I mean, kind of...
Just take a minute. Just Gazelle Man.
It's nothing.
I mean, it's
My favorite so far is either Gazelle Man or the Skedaddler.
Mr. Legs.
What about something scooter? This may be our hardest one yet, and it's about one of the easiest things, like the simplest, most common things.
Dashing.
Through
The hasty hobbler, because we're not good at running.
Also, I got kind of a gimpy knee, so I will be doing a fair amount of hobbling. The flying,
Running Man.
dashing dude.
The Dashing Dude.
Dashing dude.
We did just do dashing brogue.
That's right. We can't do that one.
I was thinking about dash too, but
Marathon Man.
something bolt, like like flash, super fast things. Do we want it to sound cool?
The bullet, the human bullet, the bullet man, the bulletman, bullet boy,
Bullet Bill.
Gazelle Man. I don't know, man. My favorite is Skedaddler or Gazelle Man. What are you guys sitting on right now that you like?
I don't know.
The problem with this one is that is a thing that has so many people have said so many versions of what we're saying. It's hard to come up with something that's original and interesting with these
I
sorts
feel
of
like
words.
I feel like I've given us two very unique options, and you guys are you're just spitting on them. Just popping my bubbles.
Well, I mean, I stand by Gazelle Man being nothing, but Skedaddler, I could be convinced maybe we can spice it up a little bit more.
Scootin' Skedaddler.
That's closer. The sprinting Skedaddler.
I like Scootin' Skedaddler. There's some nice.
Could we do
alliteration there.
something with the term terrestrial locomotion? Because that's what running is a method of.
The terrestrial locomotivator.
Locomotivator is not bad.
That's pretty good, actually. The locomotivator.
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 You're motivated. You're motivating other people. Motivator. And it's like locomotion.
And also loco in Spanish means crazy, which you have to be in order to get up in the morning and go running.
Oh, hey, how about this one? Gazelle Man.
Brilliant.
That's the one. Gazelle Man. I can see it already. I could get behind Locomotivator. I still prefer the Skedaddler, maybe Scootin' Skedaddler.
How about the Skedaddlin' Locomotivator?
No.
Two words.
That's that's a whole lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Terrestrial locomotion. That's a fun thing to say, isn't it?
So I think I could get on board with something Skedaddler if we can just juice it a little bit. Or locomotivator is fine too.
Slick Skedaddler.
Super Skedaddler.
That's fun. Silly.
What are funny S words? Salad.
I mean, Skedaddler is already silly. Maybe we need like a cool S word.
Yeah, what's a cool S word? Like that's like the swear one. That's a cool one.
The sandwich.
The only one that comes to mind is searing. That doesn't really
scintillating.
The sizzling
Skedaddler. That's fun.
That sounds like somebody that like fries up food while jogging or something. I don't even know.
Simply skedaddling.
Sprinting Skedaddler.
Savvy. Slapdash.
Stalwart.
That's fun.
Stalwart Skedaddler.
Because you have to be stalwart skedaddle all the time.
And to endure the pain that we're all going to have.
Yeah. Stalwart Skedaddler. I could get behind that.
I do kind of like that.
All right, we did it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's just go with that. we can be here all day.
Yeah.
Saintly. Smooth.
No.
Soft.
No.
Swift.
Swift skedaddler.
Swift is okay.
Swift skedaddler. Is that better than scootin' skedaddler?
I think I still like stalwart better because none of us are going to be that swift. And for our challenge, it will be more about enduring discomfort than it will be about being fast.
Well, how about this one? Superior.
Superior is a word that we probably should have marked before. That's a good word. Superior skedaddler.
Because you're the best one.
Yeah. It's like how we used to try and put master before everything.
Yeah.
I don't know that it
Successful.
doesn't flow that well.
I don't know, man.
Successful.
Superior skedaddler. Is it any better than stalwart skedaddler?
Nah, it's not. It's not better.
I think
Stalwart's the
stalwart.
best. Yeah.
All right. Let's go. All right. It's stalwart. Stalwart skedaddler.
That's it. We got it.
Savage
in one.
skedaddler.
Okay.
No. We're done. That's it. We've been here for like an hour.
Sculpted.
Sculpted. Dang it. There's a lot of good S words, isn't there?
Scampering.
Yeah, if we're going to do scampering, we should do scooting. All right. We're done. Stalwart. It's stalwart skedaddler. No more. Okay. So,
Gazelman.
I mean, if you want to bring it back, I am on board with that.
I'm honestly, the more it sort of muddles in my head, the more I kind of like Gazelle Man.
What about sadistic skedaddler?
No.
No,
I like
AKA Gazelle Man. How about Gazelle Boy?
I'm kind of back on the Gazelle Man train.
What about Gazellicus?
Travis, who have you become?
All right, the stalwart skedaddler,
Skedaddler,
aka Gazellicus.
Yeah.
Gazellicus.
Perfect. Nailed it. We got it.
Gazellicus.
I mean, I don't actually hate it.
You can kind of twist that into working because it's like
Gazellicus.
You're breaking free from inertia, you know.
Hey, everyone just take a minute. Gazellicus.
You know what? I'll be honest. I like it better than stalwart skedaddler.
I'm kind of like it too. It kind of actually works. Both put all that work into finding stalwart.
No, this is where it was meant. This is where it was meant to lead, Dan.
All of that work led to this.
Our whole lives have led to this moment.
This is where it all is brought us to.
This is the cuss of the season.
I need
We get one,
get one.
and we're using it on Gazellicus.
Actually, it's quite a it's a tasty. It feels good in the mouth.
It's a good word that we made.
Gazellicus.
That's a good word.
All right. It's
Yeah.
Gazellicus.
No, I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the
All
one.
right.
This is destiny. Okay. Who do you think is going to do well? I think I'm going to do very poorly. I hate running.
I feel like Travis, as the active military person, is probably gonna beat us.
Yeah. I
think
generally
that's
try
fair.
to be rather humble, but I do think I have a little bit of an advantage in this one.
I remember me and Travis when we were working together and we both went to the gym and he's like, "Yeah, let's hop on these little running machines." And I lasted a grand total like 30 seconds before I was ready to die. And he was like, "What are you okay? You need to sit down?" Yeah.
Need some water.
So that's where I stand against Travis, but maybe I can beat out Dan. That's what we'll hope for.
We'll see.
I'll be honest, I am a little bit, as much as I don't like running, the idea of like getting out and kind of enjoying mornings or evenings with a run doesn't sound terrible to me.
No, actually, if it's gonna be nice like this for the rest of the next 2 weeks, then a little morning jog might actually be pretty nice. Okay, so we have our challenge, we have our metric, we have our honorific. Let's do this.
Hey, I just wanted to stop in here, say thanks for listening. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to tell a friend. I appreciate it. Anyways, I gotta go. Take it sleazy. See you later. Bye.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then we've just been running all of the places, every which way. Let's start by talking through our approaches to the challenge. How did you guys tackle this?
Poorly.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'll kind of kick this off. So I had grand plans. That first week that we started, it was just delightful outside. It wasn't too bad at all. I thought. Turns out I don't own running shoes. That is to say, I didn't own running shoes. So I at first tried to kind of just Forrest Gump it out the door in my Chuck Taylor All Stars,
Mm-hmm.
which are not great running shoes.
That's how can that be true?
So I did that, and I was hurting and wheezing and near death.
I did the exact same thing. That's so funny. Except I didn't I I didn't have Chuck Taylor's. I had my old work shoes, which are basically just dress shoes.
Yeah.
That are like falling apart and have holes in the soles. And I was like, I can run. That'll be fine.
But you
But
were
yeah.
the fanciest jogger,
Yeah.
the most professional.
But pain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a comfortable running shoe. And so I did that once that week. And then I said, I'm not going to do any more of this until I get some more shoes. And my first opportunity to actually get to the store and buy some was that weekend, upon which I bought some very nice running shoes. They're On Cloud is the brand. They're like, it's newish. I don't know. They're nice. They're kind of expensive. I don't know. Whatever. I own running shoes. I should say that it's not that I didn't own running shoes. It's that I didn't own two running shoes, and that was the problem that I ran into.
Yeah, because you have 2 feet. That's
Yes. Yep. You got it.
Yeah.
That was my immediate conundrum. So anyway, I bought my shoes, and then for the next week, here in Minnesota, it became quite frosty and awful outside.
Yeah, well, it's a real bait and switch by Mother Nature.
Yeah.
There's like 2 nice days and then, winter weather advisories and stuff.
Yeah, we had a blizzard.
Yeah.
So
From
so
90
I
degrees to blizzard conditions. That was great. Loved it.
yeah, so I did run, but not nearly as much as I was planning. And that's it. I will say I ran more than I have in the past 10 years, maybe something like that. Yeah. So, that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, I did basically, except I foolishly tried to stick with my broken dress shoes. And I was complaining to everybody like, man, my shins really hurt. They said, yeah, probably because you're running in the worst shoes possible. But I thought I would just be a tough guy. And then I was like halfway through a run, and my shins hurt like a lot. And I was like, maybe I'm actually gonna like hurt myself. So I didn't buy shoes. I switched to my hiking boots. Which actually kind of worked, I think. I don't know. They have ankle support, if that means anything. But they're just higher quality.
Did your feet feel better afterwards?
They felt better, yeah. I mean, I can't say that I've been basically in constant pain these 2 weeks, but it was less excruciating with the hiking boots.
That would be more apropos for running in the weather that we've had, hiking boots, as
Yeah.
opposed to like nice, light, more or less invisible running shoes that the cold just kind of cuts right through.
That was not my experience. I happen to own, tennis shoes, not dedicated running shoes, but I just put those on and I did running. I ran outside most of the time, including in the snow and wind advisory days. Uh, there's an elementary school a couple blocks from our house that's got like a big soccer complex around the outside of it. And I was running on the day where it was like snowing and like whatever 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it was great half the time. But then when I was turning to run into the wind, that was real miserable.
That almost counts as like two times as much.
Well,
Yeah.
it pays for itself on the other side, right?
I
Because then
guess
it's
so, yeah.
easier to run with the wind. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I did the challenge. I don't know about you guys, but
I ran.
I didn't run every single day, but
No,
I didn't
I
either. No.
I did not. No. Well, and like one day it was like a downpouring out there, which was in between snowstorms. So I didn't run on. Was it 2 days that week?
Did you guys notice any benefits, positive, negative, challenges, anything?
Yes, I did. So if anybody's been listening to our podcast, they may know that I started jujitsu last year, actually. And so I, been getting into much better shape than I have been. But I was noticing as I was running. So like the first day was awful. It was so bad. It's just the worst. It's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Running is bad. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. but so I did that, but then after after the first one, I noticed it got easier, and like if I ran a little longer, I found that I could actually kind of catch my stride, but I was definitely panting. But I feel like I actually was losing weight or something because I just felt like better, tighter. I don't know. I don't. It might have been just psychosomatic, but I was feeling pretty good on the days that I ran, especially the days that I ran and did jujitsu. I was like, man, I'm like a physical, healthy person. That's a new thing. So, yeah, that's I think I could see the benefits fairly quickly. That's not to say that I enjoyed it in any way, shape, or form.
At no point during the challenge while running was I like, this is great. I like this. This is a good time. It's just always miserable. I think that there is like a threshold or like a wall where the initial first, I don't know, 5 minutes or something is like uncomfortable and you're like wheezing a little bit or whatever. But like once you get past that, there's a like kind of a plateau. But even then, like once you're there, I found my biggest challenge to be just boredom. And that like I would like listen to a book while running or whatever, but I don't know. It's just not didn't engage me mentally. So I found my biggest, I don't know, limiting factor was how much time I was willing to spend doing it.
For me, I ran instead of walked the dog. So me and Cheesecake have been running together, and that certainly kept it interesting because she, I've done that every once in a while before, but so she was super enjoying it, but I also had to like keep an eye on her to make sure she didn't stop suddenly and like I'll yank on her neck. So like,
Yeah.
and whenever you walk a dog, there's always, they're always trying to do something. So I would say that was not my problem. My problem was my shins hurt a lot.
I wonder, like, what is it? Shin splints? That's a thing. That's a
Oh
runner
yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
I learned more about shin splints in these last 2 weeks than I knew there was to know about them. There's a
Is
lot
that
to know.
is that what happened to you?
Yeah. Well, and your shins hurt because you started running. That's basically what they are. It's kind of interesting because there's like a mystery. People aren't exactly 100% sure what the pain is caused by. At least like the couple articles and YouTube videos I watched about it
Hmm.
were like there's disagreement about what a shin splint is, but pretty much all of them said make sure you're using good shoes. So that
Hmm.
was
Oops.
oops.
It's
Based on nothing other than speculation, I think that there's a similar conversation about growing pains. And that like months ago, Olivia was like saying that her, I think, arms hurt or something like that, or like arms or knees or something. And we looked into it, and like it turns out it's just growing pains. But doctors like admit that growing pains is a thing, but they don't really know what causes it. And there's like genuinely like it's a mystery, which like
Mm.
medical mysteries in this day and age still like mystify me how much, how much we know, but how much we don't know. Anyway, that's unrelated to running or anything like that. So
I'm a growing boy.
yeah, you're still growing.
Yeah. You're growing as an individual, Dan.
I will
Yeah.
say the only time I've ever gotten shin splints was the Mike. You may have gotten the same thing. The morning of the hike of the Reaper hike in the Crucible in boot camp, because you do all sorts of hiking during the Crucible, and then that morning when we were going up to the Reaper is the only time I ever got shin splints.
I didn't get them. I had what are they called? Stress fractures in my feetsies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I just kind of sucked it up though.
same.
Um, yeah, that's like a really common thing that people get in boot camp, at least Marine Corps boot camp. I assume you get foot massages and all the other ones.
Well, when you think about it, like when running, what you're doing when you're running or jogging, you're just punching the ground with every step. You're
Yeah.
like you're just punching, punch, punch, punch. And like, of course, like it seems crazy to me that your legs wouldn't hurt doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I mean,
And
we as humans are built to do that though. Like it's one of the things that like separates us from a lot of other animals is like we are meant to run and walk for long distances. It's I didn't listen to it, but my wife listened to this book and she told me all about it. There's like these people somewhere, I think it's in Mexico, and they just run for fun and like they go literally will run for days as like as kind of like a celebration
hmm,
and and then there's people in Africa that they'll chase animals and they'll just keep chasing them until the animals give up due to exhaustion, but the people are just fine. It's
right.
like we're built for long distance running. I feel like I'm not built for long distance running, but
Yeah,
I
my
was gonna say, I
people
don't
my
know.
people rode in boats.
yeah, but people in Africa and Mexico, I guess, are built for running, so it's good for them.
I think Native Americans did that also on the plains.
I believe it. Yeah,
But I suppose like if you either do that and eat or don't do that and don't eat, I suppose it's a pretty easy choice.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
right.
those are your options. But yeah, I would say I'm not great at running. I I wanted to go for distance, so I wasn't going for speed. So my times are like fairly slow. And like a number of times when I was running around that soccer complex, there would be like children's sports going on, and I sort of wonder like what those kids think. It's like this husky guy wearing an Air Force blazer, the tracksuit top, because that's what I had for the cold days, and just like wheezing and like stomping and like barely moving faster than a walk.
Yeah.
Well,
That's me.
I think when you're running, you assume everyone is like, "Oh, look at that guy. Look at that weirdo running." But how often do you see somebody running and like completely almost don't even notice that they exist? People are running all the time and it's
Yeah,
nobody cares that you're running. Nobody
yeah.
cares.
I mean, you're right, but that's not how it feels in the moment.
Yeah. Especially when you feel like you're like you can't breathe. Yeah.
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 All right. Anything else we want to talk about the results?
Well, I guess the one thing I just like to stress is I really hate running, you guys. I did not enjoy this one. I did it, and I think I'm going to continue doing it, but I don't like running. I just want the world to know that. I
Yeah.
just, I just hate it.
I was thinking that's how I would end with this, but I've kind of enjoyed it because I can tire the dog out a little bit quicker and get done with a walk. With like a 20-minute walk, I can get done in like 7.5 minutes,
Yeah.
which is pretty good for me because
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun running with the dog. You should get a
Sure.
dog and just run with the dog. I think you'd enjoy it more.
Yeah, I can
Probably.
see that. That's more of a like a shared activity at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'll continue doing this the way I've been doing it as far as running outside every other day or whatever. I think I'll probably just go back to doing cardio like on the treadmill or on like a stair stepper or something like that. Just because it's simpler and I can like have my phone on to like for me a big thing was just like entertaining my brain. I find cardio so boring. So if
Can't you
if I'm
like
like
put like a podcast or an audiobook in or something?
yeah, but I don't know. One thing that's nice is I have a recumbent bike at home and I can sit on that and bike and play a video game. And if I find the right game that's not overly like involved and that I can actually do both at the same time, that's the ideal way to do it because I can go like 45 minutes without really even noticing it. That's the right way to get cardio done, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do it just because I hate it so much that I think it's probably very good for me. That's like it's so awful that you reach a certain point of misery and it's like, yeah, this is probably something I should be doing.
I will say there's an undeniable satisfaction to having done something. Like running creates a like a soreness when you've done it that is very satisfying. Like I think like all exercise, after you've done the thing, then the next day you have like that token soreness that kind of lingers a little bit. And I don't know about you guys, but for me that's kind of a reward in a way, in that it like it's proof that you like you know achieved something sort of. I mean, achieved is an exaggeration, but I guess it's just some proof that it was worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
kind of
know.
with you. I'm with you there a little bit. I will say I think I didn't really experience that exact thing that much just because, well, first of all, I didn't go that far. I mean, I was pushing my limits, but it wasn't very impressive. But also, I think any soreness I was feeling from running was superseded by, people trying to rip my arms off every day. So
Sure,
I don't
that's
know.
fair.
I did feel good. It made me feel good after the fact, which I think is true. So there you go.
Wait, people are trying to rip your arm off?
Jiu-jitsu, baby.
Oh, okay. I didn't make that connection. Okay.
Mike is doing
I would
full
say
contact running.
Yeah, yeah. I hired what's it from Pink Panther? You know, the guy that he hires to just attack him in his house. I got one of those.
I think any of the soreness that I felt, my shins just I don't know. I was doing something wrong. My shins just are so mad at me. I couldn't be happy with any of the soreness that I had. What was your how far did you go? How far did you guys
All
run?
right, I'll go first because I know I lost. I had kind of a path that I was doing when I ran. It was not very far. In fact, I just measured it today so I could count up my distance, and it was just under a mile is the path that I was running, which I know is not very far. But I yeah. So anyway, my grand total was 4.8 miles, which is not very far, but it's farther than I've run in a long time. So, and that's a grand total of what was it? I had just had this pulled up too. 45 minutes, which is like a 9.5 minute mile. So
It could
it's
be
not
worse.
Yeah, that's not bad.
it's not impressive though, but it's impressive for me having been very much so out of the running game for
Well,
some time.
so the path I took was about a little over a half a mile. And I actually ran 4.5 miles, Mike.
Yeah.
So, uh, and I ran a total of 37.5 minutes.
You were going faster than me.
Uh,
I was meandering.
I was being pulled by a cheesecake a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so I kind of varied my path a little bit, but each time I was done running, I charted the course on my mapping software. So I ran for a grand total of 3 hours and 28 minutes.
Jeez.
Travis, come on.
Um, and I got a distance of 20.15 miles.
Good
That's
gracious.
that's that's farther than I was willing to run these past 2 weeks, Travis.
I don't think my body would let me do that. 3 hours? 3 hours? Yeah, you said.
3.5 hours almost.
Wow. So like how
Ooh.
long was your path that you were going?
On average, it was around, well, so there's that soccer complex that I mentioned.
Yeah.
I would run from my house to the complex, and then I would do at least one lap around the entire thing. And then if I did just one lap and then came back to my house, that would be like between 1.7 and 2 miles.
Okay.
And then on days like I did that for the first couple days. Well, I did the first 2 days on a treadmill, and then the rest of them were all outside. So then day 3 was 1.6 miles, and that was just the straight there and back. And then I did 2 laps around the outside of the soccer complex, and that would end up around 2.7 miles.
Okay.
So then it was just kind of alternating if I wanted to do 2 laps or 1 lap. And then sometimes I would do, if I just did 1 lap, then I would do an extra block around my house block. So
Sure.
yeah.
All right, well, who's got a calculator? We got to see who won here.
That's fairly impressive, Travis. I mean, to be fair, Travis, you've been running for a while now. Like that's something you do to like stay fit, right?
Yeah, I mean the Air Force requires me to run at least once a year, so I try to every time I'm coming up on a PT test, I try to get back into the rhythm of it because otherwise it's just painful during the test. So
Yeah.
I do generally, like I said, I for maintaining cardio, I do the recumbent bike, or I'll do there's an elliptical at the gym at work, or a stair step or something like that.
Yeah.
I need to put more cardio in my life, I think. This has been sort of a wake-up call that I'm getting old and out of shape.
As long as you get good shoes for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would make that a priority before you start.
That would probably, yeah.
Well, I think you took this one, Travis.
I think you won,
yeah. Yeah. I kind of knew I didn't stand a chance. I am happy that I went further than Dan, though. I did not think that was going to happen.
I could have done more. I was in so much pain. I don't know.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, that's kind of like me with the push-up challenge. Like I was damaged, so kind of limited. You're limited in what you can do.
I think you guys need to keep doing it, and I need to keep doing it, and then we'll do another challenge to see who can go the fastest. Maybe the fastest mile or something.
We could just do a race. Just have a straight up
Ooh,
race.
that'd be fun.
So, but I want you guys to
I
keep on it.
I used to be like a super good runner. I was like when when you did the mile at school, like I was one of the first people to finish. Like I used to be a good runner back in the day.
Yeah, when I was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
had knee surgery a while ago. It was actually right before I went to boot camp. I had knee surgery. I had a torn meniscus, and I went to boot camp with a busted knee. I mean, like a post surgery, like stay off your knee for a little bit. Yeah, sure. Then I went to boot camp instead, and then so. So, like, I think I have, like, permanent damage, but I think it's also been sort of an excuse that I've been using not to run, Because I actually wasn't that bad, like, as we were doing it. Like, my knee was fine. It was just I was fat. That was my problem. So,
That'll get you.
yeah. So,
So
I
I
mean,
think I'm realizing why boredom wasn't such a problem for you guys, because I
Yeah.
was spending a lot of time doing it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I mean, that's like you could watch like a whole Lord of the Rings movie.
It's true. Or roughly half of a book is what I listen to.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Thursday Murder Club, if anybody's out there. It's a fantastic book series.
Travis just loaned me that one, actually.
It's true.
It's sitting on my nightstand right now.
Spreading the good word.
All right. Should we put a bow on this? What are you guys' closing thoughts? Like, what what would you rate this on a 1 to 10 scale of self-improvement? I'm gonna put this at like a 9. It's very good for a lot of people to run. I think it's,
Yeah.
it's
It's also there's a risk of injuring yourself.
that's true, but that's true with
Um,
life, Dan. That's just that's
that's
anything,
fair.
Yeah, but running is specifically a high impact activity. And like Dan was saying, when you're punching the ground, that
Yeah.
does tend to get bad on your knees and back. Like there are like people's bodies like fall apart. Like when all they do is run, it
Yeah.
tends to be bad for them. Not bad for them, but it's more strain on their body than something like an elliptical or something like that.
You ever see the people running marathons and then like they completely lose control of their bowels and just poop all over the place? You ever see that?
Yeah,
Would that just be the worst thing?
in the Marine Corps, you have to run 3 miles for the PT test, and I can say I've seen that firsthand.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
3 miles isn't even that far. I didn't poop myself running the PFT, which is what it's called.
Right. I mean,
But
I didn't either, but there were people that there's always like the last quarter mile they tell you to sprint it out, and that ends up overwhelming some people.
yeah.
So yeah, I would also put this. I think a 9. 9 is a good number. Um, I wouldn't put it at a 10 just because I think like biking is better than this,
Yeah,
you know?
I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
It's or like
But
swimming. Swimming is also very good, similar kind of
but
activity.
just move like running is clearly something that humans should do at like every once in a while in your life
Yeah.
because that's what our bodies are
Well, it's just
built
I
for.
also think it's like one of the lowest cost to entry activities that you can do. Yeah, like you can just literally run out the door,
Hmm.
Well,
Assuming,
if you have good
yeah, if you have
shoes.
good shoes. Yeah. I mean, for most people, it's probably the cheapest exercise you can do. And, it's readily available, assuming you're willing to leave the house.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. And my closing thought, I guess, is like, I think I'm going to continue doing this. And I feel like I kind of have to because I got these fancy shoes now.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I need to. I'm gonna wait until it gets a little not awful out like it is right now. But this is something I'm gonna continue because I think it's also gonna help my jujitsu. Help get that endurance up. So
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah,
Travis, what did you rate it?
I think, um, I think I'm at like a 7 or an 8. I think cardio for sure is really good. I don't know that running is necessarily the thing for me, at least. Other people are maybe built differently, and I know that people talk about this like the thing called runner's high. I never got there, and I don't know that that's in the cards for me. But I think people should definitely do some degree of cardio. But I think Mike, what you said about that people should just run, like I think the act of just like moving with some speed is like, and there's an element of play in that, and that so many people never move above a walking speed, and there's kind of like you feel like a little bit childlike when you go and run and just like move your body. I
yeah,
think quite often people can get into a rut, and that running, I mean, force you to break out of that and move your body in ways you're just not typically doing. I think there's something good there. I would say a 7. Definitely do some cardio. I think that I did have some feelings of positivity towards running, but I think that that's due to I was taking cold showers after each run, so there's like an inherited positivity that running took from the cold shower, dopamine release. So
yeah.
Hmm.
Now presenting Gazellicus, Travis Braband.
thanks, guys. Thanks everyone for listening. We do recommend you do some degree of cardio if you aren't currently doing it and are healthy enough to do it. I think that there are benefits there, and I think that it can be fun depending on what you're doing. It doesn't have to be running, but some sort of moving your body, whether that be running around a soccer complex or chasing an animal on the savannah. There's benefits to be had, so get out there and give it a shot. Thank you.
You did great. Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
I think for me, just Rocky Mountain oysters, bull
Okay.
testicles.
I've never, I don't think I've had testicles either.
Also, next time on Perpetual Incompetence. eat foods that we wouldn't normally eat to expand our palate.